Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Make It Plain from the studios of Mount Zion Methodist Church, Sakumono. Today, we'll be looking at the topic, making the most of the COVID-19 season. To do this with me, I have Brother David Ejiri. Brother Dave is a member of Mount Zion Methodist Church, an architect, a lay preacher, and a life coach. I also have Reverend Dr. Solomon Norte, a minister of the Methodist Church Ghana and a circuit minister of the Mount Zion Methodist Church. Gentlemen, you're welcome. The times we are in are not normal. And like the sons of Issachar, it is important that we understand the times and know exactly what we are supposed to do. And like Joseph, we are supposed to understand what is to be done so that even in famine, there will be bumper for us. And that is why we are going to delve into today's subject. And so I am going to take the initial thoughts on the topic from my panelists today. Brother Dave, what are your initial comments on today's topic?
Thank you very much. I think it's very apt. Certainly, COVID-19 is having some devastating effects, but certainly not all doom and gloom, because whilst others are crying, a few others are also smiling to the bank. Take the telecom companies, take morgue, or let me say funeral homes, take courier services operators, and so many other. As a matter of fact, because of COVID-19, there are billionaires who are going to move into trillionaires, someone like Jeff Bezos and all that. So amidst all this, it's important that each of us learn to take advantage of the situation that presents itself, because within every misfortune is an equal opportunity for success. So I think, and discussing this is very, very much in order.
Thank you. Doctor?
Well, I think that eyes that look are common, but eyes that see are rare. Because of that, a lot of people tend, immediately they are confronted with issues, to conclude that there is nothing that can be done about it. And so, on the usage of this COVID-19, we really need to learn about how to deal with these situations, because there are some who have already concluded that nothing can be done. And so discussing such a topic is going to open people up to the realities that are on the ground. I joined the webinar by Caleb Maddox. Caleb Maddox is an 18-year-old multimillionaire. And I signed up to join a webinar where he was teaching how people can double their incomes or run into the millionaire ranks. And I was amazed that there are so many simple things that you could do to make so much money, even within this season. And I didn't know until he exposed us to those details. I sat for about 2 hours listening. And so I think that this dissecting a topic of this nature is going to really be of help to our viewers.
Thank you. Now into more specifics. Uncle Dave, let's say I'm a business operator. Now, business in all categories, SME or large corporate. Probably, let's say, I'm a regular employee. In all of these categories, we may find ourselves as believers. What are the specifics, some of the specifics that we must do in order to be able to make the most of this season?
Great. First of all, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as the eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall run and not faint, or walk and not faint. First, people must learn to renegotiate deals. Very important. So you're a business owner. You have suppliers. You also have clients or customers. Generally, expenditures are going to drop a little. It means that if you have obligations to your bankers or to your creditors, you may not be able to meet it under normal circumstances relative to the situation. So in a situation like that, you have to renegotiate. Your suppliers too must renegotiate with you and all that. Also, this era presents itself opportunities to do more business online. So for instance, if you're a regular business that deal with person to person, it's time to take advantage of the internet, set up an online store or use available social media platforms to market your products and services, in addition to the person to person, which naturally may be going down depending on your area of business. And then also, you are into one business, this season presents opportunities to add other options to it, or even consider shifting focus altogether, depending on the situation one finds himself. So it means that one must learn to add on other businesses, especially subscription-based business. When I say subscription-based business, it means a business that people will continue to pay you for one thing or the other after they become a customer. So for instance, if you ask me to build a building for you, chances are that it will take a very long while for you to come again to ask me to build another building. Okay, that is not a good subscription business. So a subscription business, turning that into a subscription business may be like, after doing the design for you, building it for you and all that, I may want to take up my services. I may want to take up supply of your fittings and fixtures or other things. So I'm just using this as an example. So depending on the area a person finds himself, always look for the opportunity to have a business that once you sign up or sign on a customer or a client, the person will keep paying you no matter how small, instead of coming once and going for a very long time. So when people are considering adding on other businesses, they should look at that, especially online-based ones. That will mean taking steps to acquire new skills. So if you are not used to online marketing, you must necessarily learn. And these days, there are so many platforms of videos. Webinars you can sign up, videos you can watch for free even on YouTube and other things like that. And then also follow self-help authors. There are life coaches like myself who do a lot of training online. My Reverend Minister, he also does some training on his blog. People must follow. And if I should suggest it, you have tomvincent.com and then csup.com. There are several simple businesses that people can take a look at. I have a list of a number of them. I don't know if you can go ahead and share some of them. Or maybe after Reverend has taken a thought, then I can share some of the business options people can look at.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle Dave. And very important point you make there, that one, we do some review of our current situation and renegotiate where necessary. And that two, we consider moving into the online space if our business is not there to remain relevant. And three, you suggest that we should think about adding on other streams of business if our original business is not viable within this season. And I think that these are key points that if we take note of will help us as businesses, whether we are small, medium, or we are a large corporate, we should be able to do this. Thank you, Uncle Dave.
You're welcome.
Reverend Dr. Norte, what specifics for the various categories I mentioned, the business owners and the employees?
Okay, so if you are an employee, you are working for an entrepreneur, but you can be an entrepreneur. In other words, you can have your own business while you do someone else's business. And it is important that we learn how to create multiple streams of income, because if you are working for someone and you don't have something, and now when we talk about a stream of income, we are not talking about something that brings you money once in a long while. We are talking about, if it's a stream, then it must be flowing. So there must be something that constantly feeds you, or feeds your purse, feeds your bank account, or feeds your wallet. That is a stream of income. Now, this challenge presents opportunities. And I was just reading about one boy. He's about 13 years old or 12. So he created an app for tracking the COVID-19 patients, and then also for recording which country has increased in terms of the active cases and all that. He had all those things. And he immediately got about 30 million followers or so. Then all of a sudden, people started running to him, including Bill Gates. And someone offered him $8 million so they will put advert on his site. He said no. And this is a very small boy. He said no. And you know his reason? He said he is looking forward to having time to really listen to what Bill Gates has to say, so he can also table his own issues before Bill Gates. Then they can sign a contract. And I was like, wow. So we must begin to see that, first of all, we don't have to be rigid when we are doing business. We don't have to be rigid. If you are rigid, you cannot diversify. If you are rigid, you are not open to new ideas. And so we must be flexible. And then we must learn how to easily diversify. You know, there are car producing companies that immediately this season came, they knew people would not come and buy cars because nobody is driving anywhere. They started producing ventilators. Other companies have gone, they have nothing to do with production of face masks and other things. They have quickly switched into those arenas. So you need to first of all ask yourself, what problem can I solve? Or what, you see, COVID-19 itself is a problem that requires a particular solution, but it has generated other rippling problems or effects that also require solution. So if you look at the season now that people don't want to go out, people are scared and they are leaving their homes and all that, is there anything you can do to supply for people in their homes that people want to buy? What necessities are there that you can provide? So people, I think that for people to be able to make the best of this time, whether they are employees or they are business owners and all that, they must think of how to solve the newly created problem or problems so that they meet those needs, because it is the solution that you provide for problems that become your business. And so that's what I'll say.
Thank you.
Let me add just a little more to that, especially in the area of the employee. One thing that is constant in life is change. So it means that even whilst you are employed now, there's no guarantee that you continue to remain employed. Because some businesses, whether we like it or not, will still go down. It's a normal fact of life. So whilst you are in your business, you must be vigilant, you must be observant. How is the business going? What are the likely trends a few days or a few months or a few years down the line? How do I take advantage of it? Am I likely to remain here? Or am I likely to be booted out, just like some people have already been booted out? It means that one has to be thinking broader or more broadly to look at what is likely to happen, not just now, but in the near future. And if the employee can make himself even more relevant to the business, especially in this time, then the employee is even grounding his role in that business. Said that if there even the need to lay off some workers, that particular person who has made himself more useful to the business will then have a chance of staying on rather than being booted out. So there's And of course, as human beings, if individuals sit and think through, other ideas will be occurring to them in addition to all that we have shared.
So on the subject of the employees, like you mentioned, yes, definitely some companies are laying people off. And in your earlier submission, you mentioned about developing self and who remains and who leaves to a large extent depends on who the business cannot do without. And so I think that point you made about self-development is key in these times. And if you are an employee and you evolve and you train yourself, online courses abound, you become relevant to yourself and to your employer.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that for the businesses, they are evolving. Kasapreko is now producing hand sanitizers. Okay, some fashion houses are now producing nose masks and the rest. But for me as an employee who sees an opportunity in this crisis and wants to do something, how do I go about it practically? Right from identifying the opportunity to crystallizing that opportunity, especially where financing in this part of our world is quite a challenge. What are some of the tips you can give to employees who may be affected, to our church members, to believers out there who are anxious, not knowing what tomorrow holds? Some are on half salary now. Some are being asked to stay home temporarily. They are not sure whether they are even going back or not. If there are opportunities in this crisis, but between identifying those opportunities and crystallizing those opportunities, what exactly can they do and how will they be able to fund these opportunities?
Okay, good. You intimated that some will be worried or some will be agitated and all that. I would say that the first thing is not to panic, to remain calm, so that your creative juices can come in to help you, especially in these times. And I want people to have it at the back of their mind is that financing is not the first thing they need. Usually people use that to block their opportunities. And for a lot of people who complain about financing, if you ask them, how much do you need? They won't be able to tell you. But they say financing is an issue. Financing becomes an issue only when your ideas are unbankable. Of course, as a starter, you are not going to a bank per se. But what I know for certain is that there are people who have disposable income, who want good ideas to invest their money in. I've had several calls. So, one, sit. And to be able to sit and do this thing, if you are still working, then you need to manage your time properly and prioritize this season as a self-development season, if nothing at all. So one, you are not panicking, you are calm. Let me put it this way. Sometimes you need to be knocked down before you realize that, first of all, you are in a fight. And then you will learn how to fight well. If you don't get knocked down, sometimes you don't even realize that you're already in a fight. Okay, so realize that we are in a fight. We stay calm. Okay, set time aside to think. When I say think, it's not worrying. I mean creative thinking. Look around. Look at your immediate environment. You already suggested some of the things. What are people likely going to need in these times? And of course, this season will pass. So things will not remain this way forever. More people are getting into the production of face masks. So at a point, that market will choke. So it means people need to be thinking beyond the immediate opportunities and find other opportunities that are not immediately seen by everybody, and then begin to prepare towards that. When I say prepare towards that, note that opportunity. ask yourself, what would it take? What do I need to get in terms of materials? What do I need to get in terms of manpower? Does it involve me alone, or do I need other people to be involved? And ideally, when we are thinking of income-generating opportunities, we should be thinking in dimensions that involve a lot of hands. Okay, you leverage on the multitude of people contributing to achieving a viable service, product, or idea. Okay, so think of ideas that will involve people. Of course, you are noting the kind of people you need. Would they require machinery? You know that. What kind of machinery? Is it immediately available, or do I have to buy? If I have to buy, how much? What kind of motivation? Of course, this season presents a good motivation to want to. But beyond that, serving humanity becomes the greatest motivator. Because if your motive is just to make money, sometimes when you start and you are not seeing the results immediately as you expected it, you are likely to lose. So beyond everything, beyond the money, the need to make a contribution, a positive contribution to the lives of people, serve people, make people's life easier, make people achieve what they need quicker, and so on, becomes a more overriding motivation. And then you look at putting all this together, how much money would it be required? And when you're looking at how much money, don't look at it in terms of how to do everything A to Z. Can the business or can the idea be phased? If it's something that can be phased, what phases is it likely to go through? What do I need for phase 1? What do I need for phase 2? What do I need for phase 3? And if possible, it's good if the idea is said that each phase can exist on its own. So for instance, some ideas require that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 must necessarily run back to back.
Okay.
If that's the situation, that means that you must, of a necessity, negotiate and have possible inflows that will cater for all these. If the ideas, the phases are said that each can exist on its own, whilst waiting to resource the next phase, then you look at the first phase, how much you need to get it done, whilst you are still looking for resources for the second phase, and so on. And then all these things might be put together properly in what I would term a winning proposal. So it means that whilst waiting, you must learn how to write a winning proposal.
Excellent. A winning proposal it is, and that will get you going.
Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Norty, Uncle Dave has said a lot. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, well, so it all begins from the thought realm. If you're going to start anything, it must begin from the thought realm with a purpose. What do I want to do and why do I want to do it? Now, you go through this process by deeply meditating on the purpose, considering the various aspects of what you want to do, and then putting it down in writing. A lot of people dream, but the reason why they are unable to put those things into practice is because they forget their dreams. But if you have actually documented what you want to do and you keep going back to it, it stirs up your conviction. And then every now and then it challenges you, and you are also able to build on the quality of the initial thoughts that you have actually put down. And so if it's about starting a particular business, look at the young man who did this solar thing with the drum, where you used to wash your hand. The moment the thing came, he thought of that. He had a drum. He got somebody else who could do the solar thing. And so the two of them came together and were able to produce one. Now, who said that there are no people to always finance good ideas? If you have a good idea, there are financiers all over. I'm telling you, there are people all over the world who are looking for good business ideas to finance. And so what happened? immediately this boy came to limelight, had some money from certain people. The government was also supporting. And now he's made it big. Like we are saying, this season will pass. And people may not need that thing now, in this form. But he can also now look at how he can program this thing he has done so that those who are in homes where they have problems with the water system, they can use solar to run the whole thing. He can diversify and go to that road. So this is about thinking and planning. And then knowing that whenever you have a dream and the dream is properly documented in terms of a business idea or a business plan, you can sell that and you can always make it big.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Norte. Viewers, I believe we are being blessed. Very insightful sharing so far. We're going to go on a quick break and we'll be back. Thank you.
Senda se brodo kumfa akese ninzimbo homsem na humbose de onsunyamiye onsunyamiye.
Viewers, you're welcome back. The topic we are looking at today on Make It Plain from the studios of Mount Zion Methodist Church, Sakumono, is making the most of the COVID-19 season. And still with me, our brother David Ejiri and Reverend Dr. Solomon Norte. So Uncle Dave, you mentioned that you had some business ideas that people can look at in this season. If you could share some with us.
Right. So there are a lot, so I may not be able to explain them into details, but it will give the idea.
The areas are fine.
So the first one is buying and selling domains. It's something people started doing long ago. When the internet started, people thought of very creative, nice domain names that people are likely to be interested in. They buy it and they offer it for sale at very good prices. Good means profitable. Okay. Some people's domain expire and you can tell the domains are very good. They are likely to come back for it. You can buy it and resell when they are ready. Social media management. There are people who need social media presence but don't have time to manage their accounts. You can do that for them. And of course, social media profiling as well. You can review products online for money. Let me be quick about that. Write online articles or blog on subjects that are very interesting, right? Subjects that multitudes are likely to be interested in, so that by generating a lot of traffic, you can monetize the writing. You can also become a copywriter. By that I mean, people need to sell their products. People need to market their business and so on. The composition that describes the person, the product, and so on is referred to as a copy. There are very creative ways of coming with copies that gets the product selling. And not everybody is good at that. So if you can master the art of writing copies, people will pay you to write or edit their copies. There are simple businesses. We are all going to be drinking water every day. So these are basic businesses people can go into. Book editing, extra classes, or become a teacher, even online. Now, if you take our educational system, the subjects are treated in such a way that students find it difficult to really appreciate the information that is being presented, and it's all over. If you are good in certain areas, you can decide that, let's say you're a math teacher, everybody thinks math is difficult. You decide to do math training or teaching of math subjects online and make it available. People who have problems in math will want to come to your presentation and get to understand, even though they may not be your regular teacher in school. Running errands for busy people, and also, okay, now office to office shoe polishing may not be that rife at the moment, but that's also a good business idea. There are lots that people, but I think generally these serve to give an idea of what people need. You can also design clothes, make them available online for people to choose. If they want their tailors to sew it for them, that is fine. As long as you have very nice designs online and people are going there to pick designs for their dressmakers or tailors or whatever to sew for them, you are creating traffic and you can monetize that traffic. And that applies to anything that you can make available online for free for people to access, and then you can monetize. Is that I think this gives a bit of an idea, a rough idea of what.
Thank you for sharing these insights. I believe that a lot can be done with these. So viewers, let's take advantage of these budding opportunities Uncle Dave has shared with us. The subject we are addressing entails a lot. And so this is going to be a 2-part series. And we are going to wrap up the first part for this session. And I want to ask my panelists to share their final thoughts with us so that we can wrap up.
Right.
Maybe I'll start with Reverend Dr. Norton.
Okay, so he's mentioned a number of businesses people can do. One of the things that I find fascinating with some of our people is how everybody goes to the market to go and pack themselves there, expecting people to come and buy from them. We have a lot of people who are working in various offices who do not have time to go to the market. So if you take it upon yourself that even the tomatoes that are being sold on the market, you are going to buy those same tomatoes, put a little on it, and then go and sell to those in the offices, you are going to make a lot of money. People are selling charcoal, and it looks like if anybody is selling charcoal must look very dirty and smelly. So even those who maybe commute from one place to the other would want to go to a nearby place to buy charcoal. But what if you package yours nicely, and then you can take it to an office and people will buy and carry it home, and they will not sell themselves? Those things are all there. There are a lot of things that we can do within this period. And what I want to say is that let us be positive in the way we look at the issues that confront us. Because once we are positive, we will see the opportunities. But once we are pessimistic, we will see the gloom and the doom, and opportunities that are available to us will be hidden.
Yeah, it's a good time. Let's see it that way. It is irrespective of what is going on around us. Like I said before, within every misfortune lies an equal measure of opportunity. Let's be calm. Let's trust that our God is with us. This will pass away, but whilst we are in it, let's look at the various opportunities that we can derive from it, develop ourselves, and then smile at the end of the day to the glory of God. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And viewers, and that says it. I want to thank David Ejiri for making time to be with us. And I want to thank Reverend Dr. Norte for making time to be with us on this session. God bless you for watching. See you on our next edition. Bye.